My child, my beloved, I ask you to stay with this moment a little longer. Do not rush past this. Do not treat this message as just another piece of noise in a crowded world, because what is being revealed to you right now cannot be skimmed, scanned, or hurried. You have found your way here not by accident and not by coincidence, but by a divine appointment that your soul agreed to long before your mind understood it. There was a season, one that you are perhaps just now emerging from, where your spirit felt stretched thin. You felt a heaviness that sleep could not cure, and a tiredness that rest could not fix. Please understand, my child, that this feeling did not arise because you were weak. It did not happen because you were failing or because you had lost your way. It happened because growth was demanding expansion. My child, as you receive this, think of one person who is also in a season of heavy growth. Share this message with them. By extending this blessing to another, you multiply the favor upon your own life. For what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. You must understand that expansion often feels uncomfortable before it ever feels freeing. They think of the seed buried in the dark soil. To the seed, it feels like the end of everything it has ever known. The pressure of the earth surrounds it. The darkness is absolute, but it is not the end. It is the beginning of a transformation that requires the breaking open of the old self to make room for the new life. You have been in that breaking season. You are learning how to carry more awareness, more compassion, and more discernment without losing yourself in the process. That kind of inner enlargement happens quietly, in the unseen places of your heart, far beyond the applause of the crowd, and far beyond the need for explanation to others who do not understand your journey. My beloved, you may not realize how much strength you have already gained simply by continuing to breathe, continuing to hope, and continuing to wake up every morning despite the heaviness. Each day that you chose to rise, despite the crushing weight of uncertainty, you were training your inner balance. You were building spiritual muscle. Each time you held on to your faith without seeing a single shred of physical evidence, something solid, something unbreakable was forming within the deepest parts of your soul. You were not surviving randomly, drifting through life without a rudder. You were stabilizing. You were being anchored. Stability always arrives before fulfillment, never after. What is coming next in your life is too big for a shaky foundation. It needs a steady platform, and that foundation, constructed of tears, prayers, and silent endurance, has been forming inside you all along. My child, I know there were many moments in the recent past when you felt deeply misunderstood. You walked through rooms where you felt like a stranger in your own life. It felt as if your purest intentions were invisible to the people around you, or as if your hardest efforts went completely unnoticed by those you sought to please or help. You questioned your value. You wondered if you were shouting into a void. But I need you to listen closely. That experience, as painful as it was, taught you a powerful, necessary lesson that you could not have learned any other way. It taught you that validation from within matters infinitely more than recognition from others. My child, if you receive this truth and wish to seal it in the physical realm, press the like button now. Let this simple action be an act of faith that accelerates the divine confidence rising within you, signaling to heaven that you are ready to stand firm. You were being stripped of your dependency on outside approval so that you could learn how to stand tall without applause. You learned how to move forward without a cheering section. You learned how to remain sincere, kind, and true to your character without being seen or praised for it. That inner independence is rare, my beloved. Most people spend their entire lives chasing the fleeting high of other people's opinions, but you have been trained to survive on the nourishment of your own integrity. This is a divine gift. It will serve you well in the days ahead. For where I am taking you, you will need to know who you are when no one is watching. so you can remain humble and grounded when everyone is watching. My beloved, if you feel this inner strength rising up within you, if you are ready to stand tall, even in the quiet seasons, type Amen in the comments below. Let this be your signal to the heavens that you are no longer waiting for applause to know your worth, but you are standing firm in the truth of who you are. There is a quiet dignity that you have developed. It is the dignity of a tree that stands firm in the winter wind, not because it is stubborn, but because its roots have gone deep into sources of water that surface-level plants cannot reach. You have felt ignored, yes. You have felt sidelined, yes. But you were never rejected. You were being hidden. There is a vast difference between being rejected and being hidden. A seed is hidden so it can germinate. A treasure is hidden so it can be kept safe until the rightful owner claims it. You were hidden in the shadow of my hand so that you could develop your character without the corruption of premature exposure. My child, clarity often emerges slowly, like eyes adjusting to the morning light after a long, dark night. At first, the shapes in the room seem unclear, fuzzy, and frightening. Then, gradually, without you forcing it, everything settles into focus. You are currently in that adjustment phase. You are in the transition between the dark and the dawn. Thoughts that once felt tangled, like a knot that could never be undone, are loosening on their own. Decisions that once felt heavy, hanging around your neck like millstones, are becoming lighter. This is not because the problems have magically disappeared overnight, but because your perception has matured enough to handle them calmly. You have grown bigger than the problems that once intimidated you. My child, trust the subtle confidence that is growing inside you right now. It is a quiet thing. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It does not need to post about itself or prove itself to skeptics. It simply knows. This quiet assurance is the voice of your spirit connecting with the divine, and it will guide you more accurately than fear ever could. Fear screams, wisdom whispers. When you learn to listen to this quiet assurance, you will notice how confusion begins to lose its power over you. Hesitation softens into a gentle pause rather than a paralyzing stop. This is wisdom taking root. This is not the fading excitement of a new idea. This is the solid bedrock of truth settling into your being. My beloved, to keep your feet planted on this solid bedrock, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Think of it not as a button, but as an act of obedience to stay positioned where the wisdom flows, securing your alignment with the truth that is setting you free. My beloved, what lies ahead for you will not require you to become someone else. I need you to hear this, for you have spent so much time trying to twist yourself into shapes that do not fit you, trying to please people who do not understand your destiny. You will not need to perform. You will not need to impress. You will not need to overextend yourself until you snap. You will be met as you are, with your authenticity recognized rather than questioned. That alignment brings ease, not pressure. When something truly belongs to you, when it is written in your book of life, it arrives without the struggle of the chase. It flows to you because you are finally vibrating at the frequency of your own truth. My child, remember that patience is not a passive activity. It is not sitting on the couch waiting for a miracle to drop through the ceiling. Patience is active trust. It is a spiritual stance. It is choosing steadiness over panic when the deadline is approaching. It is choosing understanding over reaction when someone provokes you. It is choosing faith over assumption when the answer is delayed. You have practiced patience even when the answers seem to be delayed forever. And that practice was not in vain. It refined your inner timing. It synced your heartbeat with the rhythm of the universe. Now timing is beginning to cooperate with you. The gears of your life are clicking into place. Soon, my beloved, you will look back on this very moment and recognize this phase as the turning point. This is the pivot. This is the moment where the heaviness began to lift, not because the world changed overnight, but because you changed how you carried the world. That shift is the most powerful transformation a human soul can undergo. It transforms challenges into lessons. It transforms waiting into preparation. It transforms loneliness into solitude. My child, remain gentle with yourself as you move forward from this place. Do not let the harshness of the past make your heart hard. Gentleness is strength guided by wisdom. You do not need to harden to survive anymore. The war is changing. You need to stay aware to thrive. My child, my beloved, remain present with this unfolding reassurance, because something important is settling into place beneath your conscious awareness. You have carried questions in your heart that never demanded loud answers, only truthful ones. Why me? Why this? How long? Those answers are forming now. They are not coming through thunder and lightning or sudden dramatic events, but through steady inner alignment. You are beginning to sense direction without force. You are beginning to feel confidence without noise. You are beginning to experience reassurance without dependency on others. This kind of knowing arrives when the soul finally trusts its own grounding in the divine. There was a time when you feared stillness. You mistook it for stagnation. You thought that if you weren't moving, you were failing. You thought silence meant God had left the room. Now, you are learning that stillness can be fertile. Within the quiet moments, understanding grows deep roots. Insight strengthens when it is not rushed. You were not meant to sprint through life, breathless and exhausted, collecting proof of your worth to show to people who don't care. You were meant to move deliberately, allowing meaning to deepen instead of scatter. That lesson is now becoming clear to you. The frantic need to do is being replaced by the holy power to be. My child, you may notice that certain worries no longer grip you the way they once did. The concerns still appear. You are still human after all, but they pass through your mind like clouds in the sky, instead of settling in your heart like storms. This change did not happen accidentally. It is the result of emotional maturity reshaping how you experience pressure. You learned how to observe your thoughts without obeying every single scary one of them. You learned how to feel deep emotion without being consumed by the flames. That balance is the key to the kingdom. That balance will carry you through what comes next. My beloved, there is great significance in the way your heart softened rather than hardened during your trials. Many people, when faced with the fire you have walked through, protect themselves by closing off. They build walls so high that love cannot get in and light cannot get out. But you chose awareness instead. You chose reflection over reaction. You chose to feel the pain so you could heal the pain. That choice preserved your capacity for joy. Because you kept your heart open even when it hurt, what approaches you now will be received openly rather than defensively. You are a vessel ready to be filled, not a fortress sealed shut. My child, understand that reassurance does not mean the absence of challenge. I am not promising you a life without rain. I am promising you that you will no longer drown in the puddles. Reassurance means confidence in navigation. You are now equipped to respond wisely instead of impulsively. You can pause before deciding. You can listen before acting. You can trust yourself without isolating yourself. These abilities will shape your outcomes far more than luck ever could. You are stepping out of the realm of chance and into the realm of destiny. My beloved, the next phase of your journey is going to feel very different from the past. For so long, you have been conditioned to believe that progress must feel like a battle. You have been taught that if you aren't exhausted, you aren't trying hard enough. You have mistaken adrenaline for passion and anxiety for importance. But the season entering your life now is not louder. It is not faster. It is steadier. You are graduating from the school of chaos into the sanctuary of order. You will begin to sense when something aligns with your spirit instead of trying to force it to fit into your life like a puzzle piece that belongs to a different picture. You will learn to recognize the right opportunities, not by the excitement they promise, but by the calm they bring. This is a profound shift. In the past, you may have chased things that made your heart race, relationships that felt like roller coasters, jobs that demanded your entire soul, dreams that required you to sacrifice your peace. You thought the thrill was evidence of destiny, but now you are learning that the Holy Spirit often speaks in the language of relief, not the language of drama. Discernment is a gift you have earned through the hard experience of choosing the wrong things and having to heal from them. You now know that just because something glitters, it does not mean it is gold. If you are choosing discernment over distraction today, mark this moment by liking this video. Consider it a spiritual signal that you are done with the counterfeit and are now accelerating the arrival of the genuine blessings God has prepared for you. My child, stay incredibly aware of moments that bring you quiet relief. Relief is often the very first sign of truth. When you walk into a room, or speak to a person, or consider a decision, and suddenly the tension in your shoulders drops. Pay attention to that. When something feels light without being careless, and grounded without being heavy, that is alignment speaking to you. Allow yourself to honor that feeling. It is your internal compass, calibrated by the divine, pointing you towards safety and growth. It will guide you more accurately than any logical list of pros and cons ever could. If your spirit recognizes this truth, if you are ready to stop chasing chaos and start following the path of peace, declare it below by writing, "I choose peace." Let these words be your boundary line, sealing your decision to honor the calm guidance of God over the noise of the world. You are moving into a time where you will no longer tolerate environments that require you to shrink yourself. You will find that your tolerance for drama has almost vanished. This is not because you are becoming bitter. It is because you are becoming healthy. A healthy immune system rejects a virus immediately. A healthy spirit rejects toxicity immediately. You will notice that you simply walk away from arguments you used to try to win. You will decline invitations that drain you without feeling the need to invent an excuse. This effortless boundary setting is the fruit of your peace. You are protecting the sanctuary you have built within yourself. My beloved, you will also notice that the timing of your life begins to feel like a collaborator rather than an enemy. For years, you fought against the clock. You felt you were running behind, that you had missed your window, or that everyone else was ahead of you. But in this new steady phase, you will realize that you were never late. You were being prepared. The delay was protection. If you had received the blessing when you first asked for it, it might have crushed you. Now, because you are steady, you can carry the weight of the blessing with grace. You will move when readiness meets opportunity, not when fear demands urgency. My child, you are not meant to carry everything at once. I need you to breathe that in. You have been carrying the weight of the world. Other people's expectations, past regrets, future worries, and responsibilities that were never assigned to you by heaven. You have been like a traveler trying to climb a mountain while carrying furniture on your back. It is time to set it down. Some responsibilities in your life are going to naturally fall away in this season. Some expectations that others have placed on you will dissolve. Do not panic when this happens. Do not try to grab them back. Let them go. What is remaining in your life will feel manageable, meaningful, and sustainable. Life is simplifying around you. To the untrained eye, it might look like your world is shrinking, but my beloved, it is not shrinking, it is refining. Think of the sculptor who chips away the excess stone to reveal the masterpiece hidden inside. The stone that falls to the floor is not a loss. It is necessary removal. You are being sculpted. If you are ready to let the excess weight fall away so your true purpose can breathe, type Amen in the comments. By typing this, you are spiritually agreeing with the sculptor, giving permission for the old burdens to be removed so the masterpiece of your life can finally be revealed. The friendships that were only based on convenience, The habits that were only coping mechanisms. The goals that were only there to impress strangers. They are falling away so that your true purpose can breathe. My child, as you continue forward, please remember that this divine reassurance does not demand perfection from you. It asks only for honesty and presence. You have put so much pressure on yourself to be healed and perfect and ready, but you are allowed to grow gradually. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to change your mind about what you want. You are allowed to rest without guilt. In fact, rest is a spiritual act. When you rest, you are declaring that you trust God to hold the world together while you sleep. You are declaring that your worth is not tied to your productivity. Strength expressed gently lasts longer than strength expressed aggressively. The river cuts through the rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. You are learning to be like the river. You are continuing to honor your own pace. The rhythm you are finding now suits your nature. It is not the rhythm of the world, which demands instant gratification and constant noise. It is the rhythm of the soul. It allows creativity, reflection, and action to coexist. You are learning how to move forward without abandoning stillness. If you desire to walk in this rhythm of grace rather than the rhythm of chaos, subscribe now. By doing so, you are making a covenant with yourself to stay aligned with this new season of peace, ensuring you do not drift back into the noise. This balance supports longevity. It ensures that you will not burn out before you reach the destination I have prepared for you. My beloved, do not be afraid of the empty spaces that simplicity creates. When the noise dies down, and the schedule clears, and the false obligations fall away, you might feel a moment of emptiness. Do not rush to fill it with new noise. That empty space is the Holy of Holies within your life. It is the space where creativity is born. It is the space where you can finally hear the whisper of guidance. You are clearing the clutter so that the new blessings have a place to land. If your hands are full of yesterday's junk, you cannot catch tomorrow's treasure. Embrace the simplicity. It is the precursor to abundance. My child, as you proceed, trust that support surrounds you quietly. You may look around your physical life and feel that you are navigating alone. You may feel that no one truly understands the depth of your journey or the intricacies of your heart. But even when solitude accompanies you, you are never truly alone. Guidance often works behind the scenes, in the invisible realm, arranging timing, aligning encounters, and softening obstacles long before you ever reach them. There are angels you cannot see clearing the path ahead of your feet. You may not see this support clearly yet, but you can feel its steadiness. Have you not noticed how certain disasters were averted at the last second? Have you not noticed how the exact resource you needed appeared exactly when you needed it? Not a moment too soon, but not a moment too late. This is not luck. This is providence. This is the hand of the divine moving pieces on the chessboard of your life to ensure your victory. You are being watched over with a love that is fierce and attentive. My beloved, if you can sense that invisible protection surrounding you right now, press the like button as an offering of gratitude. This act of faith clears the atmosphere and accelerates the manifestation of the help that is already on its way to you. You do not have to scream to be heard. Your silent sighs are registered in heaven. My child, my beloved, allow yourself to remain settled here as this message carries you a little further inward, to that place where truth speaks softly and clearly. You have reached a stage where awareness is beginning to guide instinct. You are developing a spiritual gut feeling that is sharper than any intellect. Where intuition once felt like a risk, something you were afraid to trust because it wasn't logical, it is now becoming a companion. This did not happen suddenly. It grew through reflection. It grew through those moments when you chose restraint over reaction, when you chose understanding over impulse. These choices shaped a steadiness that now supports you quietly. You are learning that you don't always need to ask 10 different people for advice before you make a move. You are learning that the kingdom of God is within you. You have a direct line to the source of all wisdom. When you get quiet and when you ask simply, the answer comes. It might come as a feeling, a song, a word from a stranger, or just a deep knowing. Trust that. That is your invisible companionship working with you. You are co-creating your life with the divine. My beloved, you may sense that certain inner tensions have eased without you consciously fixing anything. You didn't read a book on it. You didn't go to a seminar, yet the tension is gone. This is the effect of acceptance meeting wisdom. When resistance fades, energy redistributes itself naturally. You stop fighting what already taught its lesson. You stop replaying the movie of your past hurts, trying to change the ending. You realize the movie is over, and you are sitting in the theater of the present. This release frees space for insight to arrive without effort. What once demanded explanation now rests peacefully. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You realize that your life is the explanation. Your peace is the proof. My child, there is clarity forming around what truly deserves your focus. You are becoming less interested in proving yourself, less compelled to compete, and less influenced by external comparison. This independence of spirit brings such relief. It allows you to invest your precious attention where it matters, where growth feels meaningful rather than draining. This discernment protects your energy and preserves your direction. You are walking with invisible giants, and your path is secure. My beloved, I want you to take a moment to recognize how your capacity for patience has expanded in ways you may not have given yourself credit for. There was a time, not so long ago, when waiting felt like a punishment. It felt like you were being put in a corner while the rest of the world played. Every delay felt like a personal rejection from the universe. But look at you now. Waiting no longer feels like a prison sentence. It feels purposeful. You are beginning to understand the deep spiritual alchemy of patience. You are learning that timing is a collaborator, not an obstacle. The clock is not your enemy, and the calendar is not your judge. When you honor divine timing, outcomes align more naturally. It is like a surfer waiting for the right wave. If they paddle too early, they miss the momentum. If they paddle too late, the wave crushes them. But when they wait, alert, ready, and patient, they catch the ride of a lifetime with effortless grace. You are learning to surf the tides of your destiny. You are moving when readiness meets opportunity, not when fear demands urgency. This approach brings a stability and confidence that cannot be shaken by the changing winds of circumstance. You are no longer forcing doors open. You are waiting for the click of the lock that signals it is time to walk through. My child, there is a quiet preparation happening within you right now. I know that sometimes you look at your life and you worry because it does not look like action is happening. You judge yourself by the standards of a busy world that equates movement with progress. But preparation does not always look like action. Sometimes the most profound preparation looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like reflection. Sometimes it looks like sitting in a chair and staring out the window while your soul integrates the heavy lessons of the past. This internal readiness is the fuel for the fire that is coming. My child, the fire of purpose requires constant tending. Subscribe to ensure you do not miss the guidance coming next. It is an act of spiritual discipline to keep yourself near the warmth of this message, securing your alignment as you prepare for launch. Do not despise these days of small beginnings and quiet evenings. This internal readiness will soon express itself outwardly in ways that feel completely organic. When the movement finally begins, and it will begin, it will feel right. It will not feel rushed. It will not feel like you are scrambling to catch up. It will feel like a natural exhale after a long inhale. You will step into your new role, your new relationship, or your new opportunity as if you were made for it, because during this time of waiting, you were being made for it. My beloved, I know you have wondered if your prayers were too small, or if they were too repetitive, or if they were spoken too late at night to matter. I know you have questioned whether your words even reached beyond the ceiling of your room. But heaven listens differently than humans do. We hear intention, not volume. We receive sincerity, not perfection. Every time you whispered hope when fear was louder, something shifted in the atmosphere. Every time you chose kindness while you were hurting, something aligned in the heavens. Nothing was wasted. The waiting room was actually a classroom, and you have been an excellent student. If you believe that God has not wasted a single moment of your waiting, and that your time of preparation is turning into your time of elevation, type Amen below. Let this be your act of faith, trusting that the timing of your life is perfect and that your breakthrough is arriving exactly when it is meant to. There are doors you thought were closed forever that were only resting. There are answers you assumed were denied that were simply waiting for the right moment to arrive whole. You were never being tested to see if you would fail. That is not how love works. You were being strengthened so you could receive without fear, without confusion, and without losing yourself in the process. If you had been given the weight of glory before you had the muscles of character, it would have broken you. Now, you are strong enough to carry it. My child, trust the way your inner compass has recalibrated. If you pay attention, you will notice that you do not want the same things you wanted 5 years ago, or even 5 months ago. Your compass no longer points toward noise, distraction, or superficial validation. It has swung around to point toward authenticity and peace. This is a massive spiritual victory. When you follow this new direction, choices feel aligned rather than forced. Even difficult decisions carry a sense of calm rather than confusion. You might have to say goodbye to something, but you do it with peace because you know it is right. This guidance is reliable because it is grounded in self-awareness. You are no longer looking at others to decide what you should want. You are looking inward. You are realizing that a life that looks impressive to others but feels empty to you is not a success. It is a cage. You are done with cages. You are walking toward freedom. My child, what approaches you next will meet a version of you that is balanced and present. You are not the desperate soul you once were, begging for scraps of attention. You are a sovereign being, grounded in your worth, ready to engage with life on equal terms. If you are ready to receive the respect and honor that heaven has ordained for you, hit the like button. Let this be your prophetic agreement that breaks the cycle of unworthiness and accelerates the timeline of your restoration. You will not need to abandon yourself to receive the blessings coming your way. In the past, you may have compromised your values, your time, or your dignity just to keep a job or keep a person. You will not need to do that anymore. You will not need to compromise your values to sustain your future. Alignment ensures mutual respect between you and what enters your life. Whether it is a partner, a career, or a calling, it will respect you. It will honor your boundaries. This respect creates longevity. Things built on desperation crumble. Things built on respect endure. My beloved, continue honoring the simplicity that is emerging in your life. There is a misconception that simplicity is boring or less than. But I tell you, simplicity does not reduce depth, it reveals it. Think of a clear pool of water. Because it is clear and simple, you can see all the way to the deep bottom. When your life is cluttered with drama and noise, you live on the surface. When unnecessary complexity falls away, what remains is meaningful and manageable. This simplicity supports clarity, creativity, and fulfillment. It gives you the space to actually enjoy the life you are living, rather than just managing it. My child, stay gentle as you move forward. Gentleness is not weakness. It takes a tremendous amount of strength to be gentle in a harsh world. Gentleness allows adjustment without self-criticism. If you make a mistake, you don't need to destroy yourself with guilt. You can simply correct course. Gentleness permits growth without pressure. You are allowed to progress thoughtfully. You are allowed to pause when needed. You are allowed to continue when ready. This flexibility strengthens resilience. The tree that bends with the wind survives the storm. The tree that stays rigid snaps. Be the willow, not the dry stick. Let this reassurance walk with you beyond this moment. You were guided here to this message because your spirit was ready to recognize these truths, not because you lacked them. They were already sleeping inside you. I am just waking them up. And when you feel ready to continue, know that you are carrying a wisdom that is ancient and new all at once. My child, my beloved, let this calm presence remain with you as the message unfolds further, because something meaningful is being anchored within you. Now, you are entering a phase where understanding no longer feels fragile. Confidence is no longer borrowed from outcomes or opinions. In the past, you felt good only when things were going well. If the sun was shining, you were happy. If it rained, you were devastated. Your peace was a hostage to circumstance. But now, confidence is arising from lived truth, from awareness shaped by experience rather than theory. This inner grounding allows you to move through uncertainty without losing balance. You can stand in the rain and know that the sun is still there, just behind the clouds. You are becoming weatherproof. My beloved, there was a time when anticipation felt heavy. You were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You were always bracing for impact. Waiting felt like standing still in a danger zone. Now, waiting feels different. It feels spacious. It feels intentional. You are beginning to sense that anticipation can be peaceful when it is not tied to fear. Expectation no longer tightens your chest. It opens your awareness. You are looking forward to the future with curiosity instead of dread. This change signals trust taking root, not complacency. My child, notice how your reactions have softened without dulling your insight. You still perceive clearly. In fact, you see more than ever. Yet you respond with more grace. You see the lie, but you don't need to call it out with anger. You just step around it. You see the provocation, but you don't need to engage. You just smile and move on. This grace did not come from ignoring difficulty. It came from understanding it. You learned when to engage and when to step back. That discernment protects your peace while preserving your integrity. You are no longer fighting battles that do not belong to you. My beloved, the way you relate to challenges has transformed completely. Obstacles no longer define your identity. You used to think, I have problems, therefore I am a broken person. Now you know, I face challenges, but I am a whole person. They are experiences, not labels. You face them with curiosity instead of resistance, patience instead of frustration. This shift empowers you to navigate complexity without internal conflict. You are learning how to remain whole while adapting. To continue nurturing this wholeness, make sure you are subscribed. This simple click is your commitment to remain in this environment of growth, securing your daily alignment with the higher path God is laying out for you. My child, there is a quiet assurance guiding you toward choices that support long-term fulfillment. These choices may not always appear impressive to the gallery of onlookers. They might look boring to people who are addicted to chaos, but they feel right to you. They align with your values and sustain your energy. Alignment prioritizes substance over spectacle, meaning over noise. This priority will shape a stable future. You are building a house of stone, not a house of straw. It takes longer, but it will stand when the wolf comes blowing. If you feel this stability forming under your feet, and you know you are building a future that will last, declare your readiness in the comments. I am ready. Use this declaration to anchor yourself. affirming that you are done with temporary fixes and are now walking into a season of permanent, solid blessings. My beloved, be attentive to moments when clarity arrives unexpectedly. It might happen while you are washing dishes, or driving to work, or walking in the park. A realization settles your thoughts. A decision feels complete. A direction brings relief. These moments are signals of readiness. They indicate that understanding has integrated deeply enough to guide action. You don't need a burning bush. You have a burning heart. Trust that warmth. My child, you are learning how to trust progress that unfolds gradually. Sudden change is no longer required to validate growth. You don't need to win the lottery to feel abundant. You don't need a whirlwind romance to feel loved. Incremental improvement feels sufficient because it is sustainable. One step today, one step tomorrow. This patience reflects maturity, not hesitation. It allows transformation to last rather than fade. The grass grows quietly, but it covers the whole earth. Your growth is like the grass, silent, persistent, and inevitable. My child, my beloved, come closer for a moment. I know you feel tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. I know there are questions you never speak out loud because you don't want to burden anyone. I know there are worries you carry quietly, tucked into the corners of your mind. I know there are tears you swallow before anyone notices, because you have to be the strong one. Heaven has been watching you walk through this season with courage you don't even recognize in yourself. You think you are just surviving, but heaven sees you conquering. This message is not here to impress you. It is not here to entertain you. It is here to remind you that every unseen struggle you carried was noticed. Every silent request reached the throne. And every moment you thought you were forgotten was actually preparation. My beloved, before you move even one thought ahead, stay here with me. Do not rush this moment. What you are feeling right now, that lump in your throat, that warmth in your chest, is not coincidence. It is not habit. It is alignment. It is your spirit resonating with the frequency of truth. My child, there are times when heaven does not shout, but gently positions you exactly where clarity can finally reach you. You are in such a position right now. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed by the journey. You are not late because you needed time to breathe. You are not broken because you still carry hope in a cynical world. This pause, this moment right here, was arranged so your spirit could catch up with your body. It was arranged so you could remember who you are outside of the noise of the world. There is something important I need you to understand clearly, something that will liberate you from the guilt you have been carrying. You have been carrying weight that was never meant to be yours alone. You blamed yourself for delays that were actually protection. You looked at the closed doors and thought, I am not good enough. But heaven looked at those same doors and said, that is not safe for you. You questioned your worth during seasons that were meant to refine you, not punish you. What looked like silence from above was not abandonment. It was careful timing. It was the silence of a master architect focusing deeply on the blueprints of your future. Heaven was working quietly, so nothing meant for you would be lost or misused. Imagine a gardener who keeps a plant in the greenhouse while a storm rages outside. The plant might feel confined. It might want to be outside with the other trees. But the gardener knows that if the plant goes out too soon, the wind will snap it. You were kept in the greenhouse of God's grace. You were preserved. And now the storm is passing, and your roots are strong enough to hold you in the open field. My beloved, realize that your path was never as fragile as your fears told you it was. You spent nights worrying that one wrong turn, one mistake, or one missed opportunity had ruined everything. Listen carefully now. Your destiny is not that brittle. What is meant to reach you is resilient. It is like water flowing down a mountain. It finds its way around every rock and every barrier until it reaches the ocean. Your purpose will find you. Even when you wander, even when you hesitate, even when confidence fades, guidance does not abandon those who are learning. Understand this deeply. The strength you admire in others was built through uncertainty very similar to yours. You look at people who seem to have it all together, and you think they possess a magic you lack. But no one arrives grounded without first being shaken. No one carries wisdom without first feeling lost. You are not behind them. You are simply on your own unique section of the path. You are becoming. And what is forming inside you now will soon express itself outwardly in ways you did not expect, but will immediately recognize as right. My child, there is a shift happening quietly around you, even in your physical environment. Situations that once drained you are losing their grip. Conversations that used to leave you confused are beginning to make sense. You can see the subtext now. Patterns that repeated in your family or your life without explanation are finally loosening their hold on you. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual breaking. Alignment changes the environment before it changes circumstances. My child, if you feel the atmosphere shifting around you as you listen, press like to confirm it. This small act of faith pierces through the resistance and accelerates the final breaking of every chain that has tried to hold you back. Pay attention to the subtle relief you feel in certain areas of your life. It is confirmation that resistance is ending. My beloved, you may still feel cautious. You may feel hopeful yet guarded, like a flower that wants to open but remembers the frost. That is natural. Healing does not erase memory, it reorders it. It takes the sting out of the memory. You are allowed to move forward thoughtfully. Trust does not mean forgetting pain or pretending it didn't happen. It means refusing to let pain sit in the driver's seat of your future. You can acknowledge the past without letting it dictate your destination. What is approaching will meet you with gentleness, not force. You will not need to struggle to hold it together this time. You will be held. There is reassurance meant for you here. Nothing is wrong with the way you feel. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your superpower. It is the antenna through which you receive divine signals. Your need for reflection is not a delay. It is how you process wisdom. Your awareness is not fear. It is protection. These qualities allow you to recognize truth when it arrives. You are not meant to follow the noise of the crowd. You are meant to follow the clarity of the Spirit. And clarity grows best in stillness. My child, my beloved, as we draw this time of connection to a close, I ask you to let your heart stay open just a little longer. There are truths arriving now that cannot rush you because they are meant to settle gently, like dew on the morning grass. What you have endured has shaped a depth inside you that surface-level joy could never create. You have a richness of soul that only comes from walking through the valley. The quiet endurance you practiced without applause refined your inner sight. That is why clarity is arriving now, not as a loud shout, but as a calm, undeniable understanding. You are beginning to recognize that endurance itself was evidence. The fact that you are still here, still standing, still kind, still hoping, that is the evidence of unseen support surrounding you the entire time. You thought you were doing it alone, but you were being sustained by a breath that was not your own. My beloved, if this message resonates deeply with your spirit, if something inside you feels seen instead of just entertained, I invite you to stay connected to this source of encouragement. What comes next on this channel is not meant to be consumed once and forgotten like a fast food meal. It is meant to be nourishment. It is meant to walk with you, remind you, and steady you whenever life tries to shake your faith again. By joining this community, you are stating to the universe that you value your spiritual growth, that you prioritize your peace, and that you are ready for the steady flow of wisdom. My child, I know you have wondered if your prayers were too small. You have wondered if your requests were too trivial for the Creator of the universe. But heaven listens to the heartbeat, not just the words. We hear the intention behind the silence. We receive the sincerity of the tear that falls on your pillow. Every time you whispered hope when fear was screaming, something shifted in the cosmos. Every time you chose to forgive when you had the right to be angry, something aligned in your favor. There are doors you thought were locked that were only waiting for you to have the right key. That key is your readiness. You were never being tested to see if you would break. You were being tempered like steel so you could hold the weight of your calling. This season is changing because you are changing. My beloved, if you receive this message as a divine appointment for your soul, seal it now by typing Amen in the comments. Let your Amen be the final stamp on this covenant of peace, confirming that you accept the changes, you trust the process, and you are walking boldly into the new chapter written for you. The world is just a mirror reflecting your inner state. As you find peace within, you will find peace without. My beloved, do not walk away from this peace. Subscribe to lock in this frequency. Let it be your declaration of obedience, proving that you value your spiritual health enough to stay connected to the source that feeds your soul. My child, you are not walking alone through this phase, even if it feels lonely. Guidance has surrounded you quietly, nudging you away from harm you never saw and toward opportunities you didn't yet understand. Think of the times you were delayed in traffic. Perhaps you were being saved from an accident. Think of the relationship that didn't work out. Perhaps you were being saved from a lifetime of heartache. Some paths were blocked to save you from regret. Some connections faded to make space for healthier ones who can match your vibration. Timing is not punishment. Timing is mercy. My beloved, breathe into this truth. Fill your lungs with it. You are still chosen. You are still protected. You are still moving forward. Your story is not stuck. It is just turning the page. What comes next will make sense of what came before. All the puzzle pieces that looked random will suddenly form a picture of grace. And when you look back, you will realize this moment, this quiet connection we are sharing right now, was not random at all. It was necessary. It was the fuel you needed for the next leg of the journey. My child, stay present, stay receptive, stay gentle with yourself. The road ahead is steadier than the one behind you, even if it looks unfamiliar right now. You are supported in ways you cannot yet measure, loved in ways you cannot yet explain, and protected in directions you cannot yet see. Let this reassurance walk with you. Let it sit in your spirit. Let it be the calm voice that speaks when the world gets loud. You have the strength. You have the wisdom. And most importantly, you have the company of the divine. Now, go and be a vessel of this light. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded of their worth. As you release this word into their life, watch how the favor multiplies back into yours. For the hand that gives is the hand that remains open to receive. Go now in peace, with your head held high and your heart wide open. It is well.